Hello data scientists and aspiring data scientists, welcome. My name is Manuel Amunatigi, and in this class I'm going to talk about my 6 favorite free data science classes and the giants behind them. Keep in mind that these classes are so good that they're very known. You may know some of them, 1, 2, or all of them, so this may be more about giving thanks than giving advice. Either way, here it goes, the 6 classes. Of course, we always start with Trevor Hastie, Robert Tibshirani. They're pillars in the teaching, the statistical teaching community. They've come up with their own models, like the lasso, these things. One is from South Africa, the other is from Canada, and they're both now firmly seated in Stanford and have given us so much. I actually learned there that in South Africa, chicken is considered a vegetable. But you'll also learn, more statistically oriented material. They wrote 2 books. They started with The Elements of Statistical Learning, freely downloadable as a PDF, and then they wrote with a larger group of people an Introduction to Statistical Learning, which is a little bit more slightly easier to start with. So if you're starting, start with the introduction and then go to the elements. And they also have a great self-paced course called Statistical Learning, and let me open it in a new window here, and it's a Stanford online class. You just enroll in it, and it's just a phenomenal course. They use the R programming language, which is a great language to learn. I think as a data scientist, all of us should know R and Python at least, right? Other languages, sure, but those are the 2 that we should learn as a minimum. Next is Andrew Ng, another pillar of the community. He has offered the machine learning class, which will give you everything you need to know about machine learning and neural networks. Phenomenal teacher. He makes the material approachable, easy to understand. You feel that you never feel stupid in this class. That's what I really like about Andrew. Even though he is talking about complex topics. He's also he was a professor at Stanford at one point. He was the chief data scientist at Baidu. More importantly for us, he was a co-founder of Coursera. So he has given us an enormous amount of material, of access to education. So extremely thankful to this man. So the course is here. I have the links in the document. The document is in the description. Go there for the details. This one is on Coursera. It's free. You just click enroll, and people love the course, right? Extremely high ratings, over 76,000 ratings, and a 4.9. So people are just are loving it. He also has his classes on YouTube, and he has a new class he came up with out of deeplearning.ai. I can't talk about it. I didn't take it, so I don't know. But I'm sure it's got to be. If it's anything like what he's done in the past, it's got to be phenomenal. One thing. This is an Octave, but it's not R Python. It's an Octave, which is kind of like a MATLAB. Free version, open source version, which is also easy to use. I personally would have preferred in Python, or R, but whatever. That's what it was done in. One thing I really loved is this video of one of the classes, which I'll share here.
In this video, I'd like to show you a fun and network with here selecting a steering direction that's slightly to the left.
They trained. Here it is. Let me just show the image. So they trained this Humvee with a simple neural network, a back-propagated neural network, to drive this vehicle. It's phenomenal. So that to me was very inspirational, because he walks you through the neural networks that's driving this vehicle. And here you say, oh my God, I am learning this neural network, and this is actually what is driving this vehicle. Today, of course, the Teslas out there on the road, right, they have thousands of models running, not just one. This was literally one neural network. That's what was very, very interesting, right? And he was doing a good job. I mean, it's definitely driving well. Look at it, right? It's going slow, but it's handling traffic well. So I was very inspirational. That's just one of the things he shows you. Next, it's Geoffrey Hinton, right? So another, the father of backpropagation, Boltzmann machines. This guy needs no introduction. He also has a class. This is with using Python, which is great. Python, another great language for neural networks. I would highly recommend it. He's actually the guy who's bringing us capsule networks, so kind of the next CNN or an improved CNN. The guy keeps on giving us models, keeps on pushing deep neural networks. So a lot to thank for, and I would highly recommend his class. Also free, and I think this one is on Coursera. Yep, it's on Coursera, and it's also open enrollment. Right? Very well reviewed as well. So this is a bit different. This is the John Hopkins and Coursera course. It's a 9-month data specialization class. Great teachers. There are 3 of them: Brian Caffo, Roger Peng, and Jeff Leake. They are from John Hopkins. Phenomenal class. This one is in R, and what I really like about this class is that they start you from the basics and slowly take you up how to become an applied data scientist. So this is not just a theory anymore. Here they're talking about making sure everything you do is well documented, reproducible. They will talk about the tools you should use. So this is really, you take that class. So even though it's not free, most of us, I actually did pay for it. My work paid for it, and I loved it. And it's great when you pay for it because you're accountable. You have to have good grades. Your employer can check out your grades. So I like that. But you can also audit, on Coursera for free. So if you really can't afford it, but you want to take it out, you want to check it out, I highly recommend it because it's applied data science. And I think there is just not enough applied data science. There's a lot of data science theory, but not enough applied. And at the end of the day, right, we have to work in an applied data science world. We have to apply them. We have to be able to make sure they have value to the customer, to the end users, right? So highly recommend this class. A few more, right? SebastianThorn and Peter Norvig, right? 2, again, big minds in this space. I think, Sebastian was part of the DARPA Grand Challenge, was one of the first autonomous vehicles to win the challenge. Very smart. Sebastian is co-founder of Udacity. Peter Norvig is chief data scientist at Google or something, or director of research at Google. Just big minds, and have given enormous amounts to the community. Sebastian through Udacity and through a lot of his work in artificial intelligence and autonomous driving, etc. So they have a free class. It's called Intro to Artificial Intelligence. I highly recommend it because also these are practical applications. They're talking about how it's used in autonomous vehicles, in game theory, these kind of things. Highly recommended. It's free. And I did take a few Udacity classes, like the self-driving car one and the AI one. Those are not free, but highly recommended. You'll get to really get your hands into very practical data science. Phenomenal. This is also Peter Norvig. He's everywhere. They have a series called Crash Course. It's put out by Google. And if you're interested in TensorFlow in Python, I highly recommend this class. It's free, and they're going to get you the basics of TensorFlow, Google Cloud, all these things. Incredible. It's just phenomenal that we have access to this kind of a material. That's it for the free classes. Those are the 6 giants. I want to talk about 1 or 2 more things before I end. This is Tensorflow Playground. So for those who are interested in TensorFlow, there are some great learning materials, but this is a really cool tool from Daniel Smilkoff and Sean Carter, who are using TensorFlow in the background, and who created this cool dashboard to allow you to learn how a TensorFlow can be tuned, what type of activation layer does what, regularization does what, etc. So let me just open up very briefly. It's something for you to play, not for me. Okay, so actually, let me just refresh it. Here you have your output layer, right? So it needs to classify. This model wants to classify to be able to separate, find a model that can separate the blue dots from the red dots, right, or the orange dots. And these are the defaults, right? So it has 2 input layers, x1, x2, 2 hidden layers. The first one has 4 neurons, the second one 2 neurons, and activation is 10H. You have a few more things like the learning rate and no regularization, etc. So when you hit the play button, I already showed you, it separates the data very quickly. Look at that, perfectly well, and a low error, right? But you can find something more complicated, like for example, this swirl, right? And let's see if it can, same thing, figure out how to separate the swirl. It cannot, right? It just can't, right? So that's interesting, right? So, I'm not going to, show you how it's done. It's easy to do. For example, trying with a ReLU would be, this is one of the most popular activations. I would recommend trying that, and I would recommend adding more complicated features, right? Play around with it. It's a phenomenal tool. It definitely helped me open my eyes on a few things I was a little foggy on. So, and I think that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about. These are the 6 classes, right? And the giants that generously made these available. All I want to say is there's just no excuse, right? So if you hear somebody who says, no, I don't know the material, I don't have the money to get it, it's all over the place. No, it's not. It's, tell them, recommend them one of these classes or all of them, or point them to this blog entry. there's no excuse. It's there, it's free, and it's very, very, very well done. Usually some people say, free material is not good. No, no. This is better than most of the paid materials out there. Just keep that in mind. Thank you.